and put right in there as well. But I think those are the best of the 35 through 50 guys.
Right.
I'm probably with you, Mickey. I've probably got one tier left, and that's everybody. But at the top of that tier, and I probably would slide Cadillac Williams up for some reason. I just like a guy that is the lead back, and I think he was over 1,000, I believe, last year. And didn't seem like he did much of anything. I mean, if he improves a little bit, I think he could be decent. Uh, who else is on the board here? I guess Brandon Jacobs, although I don't like him, I'd rather have Bradshaw, Buckhalter, Chester Taylor. I think it could be sneaky. I loved him last year when he was with the Vikings, and whenever he got the ball, I mean, he looked like Adrian Peterson. I don't know how solid he is for sure, but he looked pretty solid. And then if Forte is dragging his ass like he did last year, I could see Taylor getting some more time. Just I guess grabbing one of the Houston guys, probably grab one of those guys and see what the shakeout is in Houston. There's no telling what's going to happen there, but it'd be nice to have one of the options there just in case.
Is the biggest dropper from one year to the next in fantasy football history Steve Slayton? Remember when he was projected top 10 last year?
Yeah.
He's not even top 50 now.
Steve Slayton, I think either way, is solidified as the number 2 back, being the third down change of pace guy. I ultimately think that Ben Tate wins the starting role, but from what I heard or what I read recently, he was injured, and like I was saying before with Hardesty, being an injured running back is a lot harder to recover from a learning the team and learning the offense perspective than wide receivers and other positions. Just because you have to learn the blitz pickups, you have to learn the reads and everything like that. So, Caddy did only have 823 yards last year, Miller.
How much?
823.
Maybe I'm looking at. I might be looking at total yards.
Yeah, 823 rushing yards.
160 something, 70.
Yeah, I don't have his receiving yards in front of me, but yeah, total yards. I mean, I agree. I could be talked into moving him up as well.
I've got him at 1035 total yards and 7 touchdowns, which that's pretty. Shit for a flex play. Where would that rank in receivers? Pretty high.
Yeah, he's still probably ranking around. Let's see, who was 1,000-yard receiver, like a Derek Mason type player.
I gotcha.
So that's basically our tiers. Just kind of run a little bit. I don't know if you guys. We already talked about Jamal Charles and Thomas Jones, Harrison and Hardesty. You mentioned Felix Jones and Marion Barber. Very quickly, I think it ends up. I know all the Dallas media, I think, is plugging for Felix Jones to be the lead back. However, Barber reported to camp like 6 pounds lighter than Felix Jones, so the bruiser's lighter than the scat back, which is kind of weird. The other night, Barber did get the first carry of the game. I know first carry went to Barber, second to Jones, third to Barber, second to Jones, or fourth to Jones. So I think it's going to be basically a 50-50 timeshare.
But you could tell Barber he is their goal line dude.
Yeah, Felix Jones
put him in on third and short, and they put him in at the goal line. I can't deal with that if I'm a Felix Jones owner.
Right. So I agree with you. I'd take one of those as maybe my third or fourth running back, but I'm not drafting either of them to be my second.
Right.
The last thing I wanted to talk about is Bradshaw and Brandon Jacobs. Both were hurt last year. Both had surgery in the offseason. Jacobs on his knee, I believe. I could be mistaken on that, but I know Bradshaw had surgery to repair the stress fractures in his foot and to pull some bone fragments out of his ankle. Recently, he's been listed as the number 1 on that offense. I don't know how you feel about trusting Tom Coughlin and Bradshaw playing the majority of the game and getting the majority of the touches, or if you actually think, and I hate myself for saying this, that Jacobs could have a bounce back year. 2 years ago, he had 15 touchdowns. Last year, he had 5. So I think it's probably going to be closer to the 15 than it is the 5. I'm looking probably at 11 or 12, maybe right around 1,000 yards. So he could be a very serviceable back if he can stay healthy. He's reported to camp basically in, and I know that you hear this every year, the best shape of his life. And I think that he's got a little bit of something to prove.
I still agree with you. I think he doesn't have a ton of wear and tear on him from a carry standpoint, since he only came up a couple years ago. And I think that I'm leaning on your side with this. I think he'll have a bounce back year. I think he'll hit double-digit touchdowns, and I would I'm much more likely to take him than I am either him or Bradshaw than I am either one of the Dallas guys.
Right.
I agree with you on that. I hate the Dallas backfield.
we understand. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, so notice we're not talking about the Redskins backfield because it's just full of 65-year-old men who are good back in the 50s.
The Redskins are going to win the 2004 Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Write it down.
But that's all I have. If either of you have anything else that you want to...
That's it. I'm all talked out.
Yeah. Sorry this ran a little bit longer than I expected. I think that we were a little bit more intelligent than I thought everyone was going to be.
A little more professional as well, but...
Weave, do you have any closing remarks?
No, I don't have any closing remarks. I'm kind of excited for the season to get started, and I'd love to, be doing this on a weekly basis, talking about who we like, who we don't like. I mean, the draft's fun. It's just so hard, and I'm excited for the season.
I am as well, and our draft is Saturday, August 21st at 9 p.m. sharp. So after the draft, we might be able to give you guys a little bit more of a sleeper pick and stuff like that for each position. I think that we're all going to kind of keep that close to the chest until our draft is over, since we all three in the same league. But if you guys want to do this again next week, maybe we can do wide receivers next week, and then a quarterback tight end session. We could probably put both of those, or quarterback tight end and defense. We can probably do all three of those in one as well. But that sounds good. I appreciate everyone listening. This is Twin Makers Take featuring Andrew Weaverstance and Bonedaddy Boggs, signing off until next week.
Signing off.
Later, guys.